Hello, I'm Bonnie Rabikoff, and this week on In the Kitchen, we are on the campus of Johnson County Community College to continue our second in a series, Field to Fork. This week, we're going to harvest some of their summer produce, bring it into the kitchen, and prepare wonderful summer dishes. It will include bison sliders with tomatoes and squash and garlic and sweet corn on the side. To begin our time here on the campus, we're going to talk to Michael Ray. He is a member of the Center for Sustainability, which plays a huge part in the farm and the cooking here on campus that is also available to the community.
Our sustainability program actually started about a year ago. I began in September, and we do a lot of different things on campus. We improve our recycling. We basically have our sustainable agricultural program, composting on campus, a lot of energy efficiencies that we're working on. We're also working with stormwater management and quite a few other sustainable items.
So the general operations of the school now, you have a different approach to it, and that is with the eye to sustainability.
Right.
So, and now you have a farm on the campus, which is exciting. This is an urban campus, and here you are with a farm.
Yeah.
Tell us about how that works with the other programs here.
Well, we have our dining services that farm feeds, as well as the culinary department. And so part of that is basically revolving the cycle of sustainability, and that cycle then we've kind of moved that cycle even into composting. So now the food that's left over from dining services in the culinary department is going into our composter, which then creates composting, and then that soil amendment is then brought back over to the farm, tilled back into the farm to create more food.
Okay, so we have a wonderful thing going on here on the campus. How can members of our community have an opportunity to learn more about what's happening here so we can incorporate it into the way we live at home?
Well, we have a lot of different ways of doing that, one of which is just to become involved with our group, the Center for Sustainability. You can join our Facebook, or you could just go to our website and kind of look at some of the things that we're doing. And then also, we have a continuing education that offers many classes on sustainability, and we have some business degree type things that deal with sustainability, as well as rain barrel classes and composting classes. And we also have full curriculum type classes as well that have that sustainability integrated into them, along with the one you're talking about, which is the farm, which is our sustainable ag program.
Okay, so it is part of the curriculum as well as the operations of the school.
Absolutely.
So sustainability is really a top-down initiative from your board and the leadership of the school. Let's talk about the commitment they've made to this.
Sure. We've had some great leadership in our board of trustees, and we had a few months ago, the board actually approved $1.1 million to reinvest in the college's energy efficiencies. So basically we'll be putting money towards things that will give us a payback within 10 years and basically create a more sustainable campus through energy efficiency, which is a huge thing right now with the price of power, with the reduction in basically our greenhouse gases. We need to move towards those type of things, and with this money that was allotted towards these energy efficiencies, it's going to help a lot.
So top down, not just something that's happening in the classroom, it's the way you live and work and operate here at the school.
Right.
Well, Michael, thank you. I think it's time to talk to Farmer Mike, and then we're going to go into the kitchen and cook.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We're continuing our chat for our Field to Fork feature, and with me now is Farmer Mike Ryan, who is the farm manager.
That's right.
Tell us about this urban farm here on the campus of Johnson County Community College.
Well, we've got just over 2 acres in production here, with approximately 30 different crops spanning over about 80 different varieties of those crops. And what sets us apart from a conventional farm operation is that it's all produce, which can be harvested and consumed almost directly by the consumer.
So I know that you do composting. I know this is part of the sustainability program. this is also a coursework here on campus. Tell us about the agricultural program.
Sure. Our Sustainable Agriculture Entrepreneurship Certificate.
I'm glad you're saying this.
Yeah, I've practiced a time or
You
two.
did good.
Is roughly 3 semesters long, with coursework, as you said, as well as practicum hours that take place here on campus. And the program itself spans all the necessary knowledge, as well as some business courses. That's the entrepreneurship component. And so our students go from, whatever level of knowledge they have when they come in to leaving with a business plan in hand, with a complete scope and idea of what they want to end up with.
And that is such an important piece, is not just as if it weren't enough to know how to do farming, but to understand that farming is a business.
Absolutely.
And so they are equipped, if you will, with both to go out there and farm. Did you always know you wanted to be a farmer?
No, I didn't.
No.
I think I went through the usual changes of opinion that anybody does as they grow up. But no, I grew up in a suburban setting, not too different from Overland Park. And so I didn't start out with any agricultural background whatsoever.
Because I think we believe that you have to have that in your blood or background
Sure.
to move forward in it, even though you might have an interest. So how did you go from being a suburban kid to a farmer?
Oh, it's kind of a long story. I'll try to hit the main points, but I went to college at KU and graduated from there with an English degree, and was doing some manual labor-oriented jobs while I was there. And one of those, as I was finishing up, was on a small produce farm. And I loved the aspect of working with my hands and being tired at the end of the day, and
Real
it just
sense
really
of
appealed to me.
accomplishment.
Absolutely, I always feel like I did something that day.
Okay, so you took a means of support while you were going through school, and it became a passion, and then
It became
a
a passion, and in there I should also mention that I actually enrolled in JCCC's Sustainable Ag program, and I'm a graduate of their program as well. So
Okay, so graduate, and now it's leadership.
yes,
Well, Farmer Mike, I think we need to go out into the field, and I think we need to harvest some produce, because Executive Chef Tim needs to prepare a signature dish, and it is going to be a grilled grilled bison sliders with a roasted garlic aioli and sweet corn and tomatoes, and you grew all this, so let's go harvest it.
I'm excited too.
Why don't you come with us? Here we are at the compost facility on the campus of Johnson County Community College. We've been talking with Farmer Mike and Michael Ray, who's with the Sustainability Center here on the campus. We're going to get ready to go to the farm, harvest some produce, and go in the kitchen and make a signature dish. But we thought we'd talk to you a little bit about how we fertilize this farm we're about to visit. This is compost, and where did it come from?
This compost came from our dining services in our culinary department, and basically we take all that leftover food, roughly 200 pounds a day, and then we mix that with some sawdust and stick it at the beginning in this machine, and then it comes out through this machine after about 2 weeks, and we end up with brand new compost that we'll put right back on the farm and other ground areas on campus.
So you're providing fabulous fertilizer for the campus's farm, but you're also preserving our earth and being green. We appreciate all the effort that you're putting forth to make this happen. So about 200 pounds a day.
Yeah, and that's without a whole lot of students here. So we anticipate nearly 500 pounds a day when students get here. One of the nice things is that this doesn't go to the landfill and then create a bunch more methane, which then creates a greenhouse gas. So
And in the kitchen, we've been in there before. Literally, they have a whole area that they devote to the food waste.
Right.
They know what goes in and what doesn't, and then it comes out here.
Right.
And it's mixed in this machine and creates wonderful, wonderful fertilizer for your farm. Thank you very much for the care you're taking. I think we need to go to the farm and see what great fertilizer can do for produce.
all right, great.
Thank you. We are on the farm, and we have to pick the produce so that Executive Chef Tim Johnson can prepare his signature dish.
Very good.
What's the first thing we're going to pick for Tim?
First thing we've got right here are our cucumbers.
Okay.
So,
And I'm going to help harvest this, and I'm trying not to hurt any other cucumbers.
That's
Tell me
all
where
right.
to go.
Let's see. There's got a couple guys right here, and it's a real simple process. If you just want to grab
Simple
it,
works. Okay.
just grab it and give it a gentle tug, and it'll pop off of there. There's
Okay,
one.
so it has some little protective
Spines.
spines
Yeah.
on it.
So yeah.
Oh, that is gorgeous. This is going to be great for his dish with the tomatoes.
You think he's happy with one, or should we grab a couple
Oh,
more?
you know what? Let's have a safety
Okay.
cucumber.
We got here. Oh wow, here's a good one. So usually people trellis their cucumbers, but
Yes, and I noticed these are on the
we did.
ground.
We left them on the ground this year, and it's been a big success for us. Just with the heat, I think the cucumbers have done well.
Protected.
You know,
It
under-
did protect it. Now,
Exactly.
will you plant cucumbers again next year here, or do you rotate, or?
Actually, yeah, we rotate everything. We keep careful maps of where we have field maps is what we call them, and we chart out where everything's been planted, and then we rotate just so we deal with soil fertility issues,
Yes.
and also it helps us with pest management.
With pest
So-
management as well. So for our home gardeners, even though you have much smaller beds,
Sure.
rotate them.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So what else are we picking for Tim?
I think we've got some squash to pick for.
Okay, let's do it.
All right.
We're going to finish harvesting for Executive Chef.
Very good.
Where's the squash?
We've got some yellow-green squash in here, and it's not too different from our cucumbers. You just kind of scout them out, and when you see
Would
some,
this be one?
that would be a good one.
That would be
And
a
so
good
you can-
one.
Yeah, same deal.
And you know, I will tell you that Executive Chef has also made dishes with these exquisite blossoms from the squash too. He stuffed
Yes,
it
he
with
loves-
gorgonzola.
He loves the squash
He
blossoms.
loves the blossom. You got to watch him because
So.
he'll take them off before you get a chance to be squashed. All right, so I think we just need to collect tomatoes and then we'll be ready to cook.
Very good.
We need one more piece of produce for the signature dish. That
Very good.
would be tomatoes.
Yes.
I've spotted some little red guys, and I know our gardens. Oh, these are.
It's like nature's Easter egg hunt here.
Look how pretty. Oh, really pretty. And do we want? I know he wanted some orange. It looks like there's an orange guy down
Yeah,
there.
you can go ahead and
Can I
grab
get the
that
little
too.
orange
Absolutely.
guy?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, isn't this going to make a beautiful
I
salad?
think so. It's some great colors.
Okay, Farmer Mike, we've collected our produce, and now it's time to go into the kitchen and cook.
Let's do it.
Why don't you come with us? Hello, I'm Bonnie Rabikoff, and we are continuing our Field to Fork series here on the campus of Johnson County Community College. We've just been in the field harvesting some summer produce. Now we're in the kitchen with our executive chef, Tim Johnson. We're going to begin cooking, but first let's talk about what we picked.
Hey Bonnie, how you doing today?
Thank you for inviting me into your kitchen again.
Well, Farmer Mike had some lovely produce today, and we are always in constant communication, either by the phone or by email. He sent me some lovely summer squash.
did.
We sent a red gold potato and a cordola potato, and then we also had some fresh cucumbers. He sent these gorgeous yellow and red cherry tomatoes. And then we also have some food in here today from the CSA program that's on the campus every
Yes.
Thursday. Now that is part of Hen House, and every week they get a bag of groceries that basically can create a meal. And so I've kind of combined the two things today to really show and really highlight and showcase the beautiful food that's grown in Overland Park and the greater Kansas City area.
Greater Kansas City area. So now that we have this gorgeous produce, what you say we go back in the kitchen and cook?
That sounds good.
Okay, Tim, what are we making today for the signature dish with our summer harvest?
Well, I combined the two things from the CSA market and our Johnson County Community College farm, and we're going to make, the main ingredient is going to be a grilled bison slider with a roasted garlic aioli. Then I'm also going to make a baby heirloom tomato salad with cucumbers and purple onions with a Citrus-Vodka vinaigrette.
Oh, my.
And then a twist on potato salad. I'm going to grill the potatoes and squash and toss that with a Dijon dressing. So it's a kind of a twist, you know, normal potato salad. I was thinking today, I'm so sick of normal potato salad. What could I do different? So that's what I came up with. And then finally, I have some Andes sweet corn. And this is something a good friend of mine taught me 10 years ago. We're going to butter it with a little cayenne and salt and pepper and Parmesan, and we're going to grill it. We're going to leave a little bit of the husk on just for attractiveness, because this meal, unlike the one we did last time, is about grilling. We're in the middle of August, and so everything should go on the grill now that it's a little cooler. So we're gonna have fun with this today.
I know we are. Okay, and you've taught me, you were one of the first to teach me about mise en place. So what do we have to get started?
Well, we have everything all lined up
Okay.
where we're gonna do.
Okay.
But the first thing we're gonna start off with is our bison. Now bison, especially ground bison and all bison, should not be cooked past medium rare, or it can tend to dry out.
Okay.
But with burgers, that kind of freaks people out sometimes.
It does.
And so what I have come up with over the years is I add a little liquid to it to give it some flavor.
And the virtues of bison, it is just such a high source of protein and iron with low fat.
Low fat.
And the flavor's wonderful.
If you cook it right.
If you cook it right. Now, of course, that's what we're going to do. All right, what
So
are we going to do?
We have about
Moisture.
a pound. We have a
Okay.
pound and a half of the bison, and
Okay,
so
ground
I'm
bison.
going to put 1 egg in there. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
put this over in my compost pile
For Farmer Mike.
for Farmer Mike.
Mm-hmm.
We got 2 in there. Then I'm going to add just a little bit of Worcestershire,
Okay.
and then I'm going to season it with a little salt and pepper. Now I'm
And
just
this
gonna-
is kosher salt and freshly
Kosher salt.
cracked pepper. And boy, that almost looks like a 50-50.
50-50 mix, yeah.
50-50. So traditionally, we think of 2/3 salt and 1/3 pepper, and more of the chefs are saying, no, let's kick up the pepper a bit. And
I
it
love
helps
the pepper.
reduce sodium. It helps reduce the sodium. So
So I'm
are
mixing this together
Yes.
until I can feel that everything is, there's no lumps in there, so everything is fully saturated with the egg and the
Okay.
liquid. Okay, now we're going to let that set for a little while in the refrigerator as we make our other salads.
So it's gonna get ready to go and let all the flavors incorporate.
Yes.
Okay. So the bison mixture is chilling. Now time for our tomato.
We're going to make our
salad.
tomato salad
Okay.
and our potato salad, and this can be made up a day ahead of time, which would be really good. But although, depending on how soft the tomatoes are, you may not want to do that because the acidity of the vinaigrette may cause them to be a little mushier later. So it might be even better to do this about an hour or two before.
Okay, earlier in the
sometime.
day.
Uh-huh.
Earlier in the day. Okay.
Now-
So we have a great variety of tomatoes from Farmer Mike, and they're all beautiful.
Just beautiful, different
All right.
colors,
So what are we
shapes.
going to do for our tomato salad?
I want you to take a knife and
Yes.
just cut out the little center
I
there.
can do that.
Okay?
All right. And what is so great about these tomatoes, and I know he does a lot of heirloom, which means they have not been genetically modified. And what you get from that, of course, is the flavor and nutrition the way they began.
What I'd like for you
Into
to
compost, yes.
Now, since these are fairly small, we got different shapes. This one we can go ahead and quarter. Okay. And we'll put that right in the bowl. Now this one you might just want to do half.
Half, okay, and it doesn't need to have anything taken out of it. You know, I used to think that yellow tomatoes did not have the flavor.
And if you would turn your knife the right way, you wouldn't destroy my tomato.
How about that? Knife skills 101, use the sharp edge. Do you want me to do
Do
this
one more, yeah.
Okay.
Redeem
All right.
yourself from the
I
last
will
one.
redeem myself from the last one. You know, there we go. And so, in
That one can be
quarters?
quarters,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, it cuts so much better when you use the sharp side.
That's right.
Oh, this is exquisite.
So we're going to put these in here.
Okay.
And then we'll set those aside because
Okay.
they're so beautiful.
They're
We'll
so
save them
beautiful.
for something
Okay.
else.
All right.
And I cut some earlier, and so
Gee.
you can see the different cuts and colors.
The colors are like, it's like the decoration. I just made tabbouleh last night and used different colored tomatoes, and people were excited about it before they took the first bite.
Then we're gonna
Some
put
red onion.
red onions in
It's
there,
so fragrant.
and then some cucumbers from the farm.
And I noticed that you did not take their skins off.
Did not take the skins off. A lot of the nutrients are in the skin.
You just wash them really well.
Wash them real well.
And they're so fresh that it's tender.
Okay, now we're gonna make the vinaigrette.
Okay. Okay, we've sliced those beautiful tomatoes, onions, cucumbers, vinaigrette time. What are we gonna
Now
make?
we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna make a citrus-vodka vinaigrette, and it's almost like a Bloody Mary vinaigrette, really.
Okay. Well, appropriate for our tomatoes.
That's right.
Yes, it is.
I purchased some local vodka. It's called Most Wanted. It's out of Atchison, and it's a little sick.
Oh
It
my
has a little
goodness.
lemon flavor in
It
there.
does. It's citrusy.
So we're gonna put just about 3 tablespoons in there.
So if you didn't have a citrus vodka, could you squeeze a little lemon juice in there? And
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And we're gonna do that
That's
anyway.
heaven.
So,
Oh well. So.
and then we're gonna add just a little bit of garlic.
Garlic. Garlic. Yes.
Then some celery seed, because that
Mm-hmm.
would be around the top of your glass of your Bloody Mary.
Yes, it would.
Now here's the secret ingredient. We're going to put a little sugar in there to kind of counteract the bitterness of the vodka, but still leaving some of the
I hear
flavor.
people using sugar with a little bit of sugar with tomatoes, a little bit of sugar sometimes with corn, just to brighten it up a little.
Brighten it up and, you know, mellow out the flavor. So we're going to stir that up, okay? And if we had a shaker, we'd do it that way.
Okay.
Then we're going to put just a little bit
So we've got tomato juice.
okay?
Okay.
Then we're also going to put some white balsamic vinegar in there.
So we're having a couple of acids. We're having
Couple of
the
acids,
vodka
mhm.
and the tomato. Okay.
Then just a little bit more lemon juice, give it a little bit more citrusy flavor.
Okay.
Then I'm going to use some grapeseed oil. You want to hold the bowl
And
for
I
me?
hear wonderful things about grapeseed oil. You know, it has
What's
a high
actually-
boiling point or
Flash point.
flash point.
And it also has a little bit more earthy taste.
Oh, that's smelling good. So you could actually cut your tomatoes up earlier in the day and then just add the vinaigrette a
Right.
little before serving if you are looking for some time saving.
So now we're going to pour this lovely over it.
Look what that does to the color. It just makes everything brighter.
Now we're not going to serve it with all this vinaigrette, but we just want to kind of saturate.
So when we go to serve it, we would spoon it out or pour it through a strainer. But that's sort of help marinating it a bit, isn't it? Yeah.
Now I'm going to also put some Italian parsley.
Oh, how beautiful. That's art.
it.
Oh, but you do that, don't you? On
Yeah,
a plate.
art on a plate, okay.
Okay, Chef, what's next on the menu?
Well, we're going to make our grilled potato salad, and it will also have some grilled squash in it. And we're going to make a Dijon caper dressing to pour it over it.
It's going to be wonderful. Okay, well, how do we begin?
Now, you know, a lot of people have never grilled potatoes before, and yet they're wonderful. You can use a baked potato and cook that all the way, and then grill it if you're going to have it with steak. But for today, we're just going to cut the potatoes long ways,
And what kind of
about a
potato do
quarter
we
inch.
have here?
This is the Cordola.
Could you use Yukon Gold here?
You can use any potato you
you
like.
want. Okay, but maybe not a real starchy one.
Right.
Okay, and so we're gonna get those guys ready, and
Then we have the red gold potato.
oh, look at the difference in the color, but still that smoother, waxier texture. Okay, that's what we're going for.
And then we're going to take our summer squash.
And they're ready. And you're a
gonna
big
cut it.
fan of the diagonal.
Cut it on the bias. Okay. Now the fun part,
Yes.
get the paintbrush out. We'll put our stuff over in our compost pile.
So happy for Farmer Mike when you do that. All right. What kind of oil do we have
We just
here?
have a mix of olive oil and canola oil.
Okay.
So we don't want it to overpower the flavor of the potato.
So you brush it on, and then we're gonna put any seasoning on here, Chef?
Of course, we'll put some seasoning on there.
And don't be bashful, because some of the seasoning falls
That's right.
off as you're grilling. And
Now I'm going to put a little bit more oil in the pan so that the other side gets it too, so it won't stick on the grill.
okay, and from here we go to the grill.
We go to the grill.
We go to the grill. Okay.
So I'm going to put these on the grill. Of course, when you're grilling these, you're going to be outside, so you don't want to have too hot of a flame because they'll burn up really quick. So you maybe have them indirect heat. And so we're going to put these on here. And then we also put our squash on there too.
Okay, and then from here, where are you going to go?
I'm going to, after they're finished, I'm going to put them in an oven, because the potatoes, they can't cook all the way through because I'm using a raw potato. So I'm going to put them in a 350-degree oven for about 5 minutes.
Okay, we've pulled the potatoes and the zucchini out of, or the squash.
Oven and off the grill.
And off
So
the-
we're going to let those chill a little bit
Okay.
while we make our dressing.
Okay, the dressing for our unique potato salad. Okay, so our summer squash and potatoes that have been grilled and baked are cooling, and now we're
Cool.
gonna make the sauce.
We're going to make the sauce.
We're gonna make the sauce.
Actually, it's a dressing.
A dressing.
Okay, so we're going to put in a little white balsamic vinegar.
We forget to use whites, don't
Yeah,
we?
everybody gets stuck on the dark
Yeah.
balsamic. Then we're going to do some mayonnaise.
Okay.
About a little over a cup.
Okay.
And then we're going to take some sour cream.
This is a serious dressing.
And then we're going to get this all kind of incorporated.
Could you use this for a coleslaw also? You
sure.
could, couldn't you? Very versatile.
So
Look at
see
that
how we've got that
beautiful
all
consistency.
Okay. Now we're going to add our Dijon. We'll do just a little bit at a time. About half of it, and if you like that flavor, but if you want a more intense flavor, then we'll add some more. That's looking good. Now if you'll hold my bowl for me,
I will do
Bonnie.
that.
And we're just going to add a little extra virgin olive oil.
And this is when you want to pull out the extra virgin, because you're going for the flavor here as well as consistency.
Because the potatoes are going to have a nice smoky flavor anyway, and so this is going to add even more flavor to it. Now I just want to check the base.
So, and we remind our viewers to taste as you go along. Yes? Okay.
I'm good.
You're good, okay. We don't know what you're good for, but you're good.
Now we're going to add some of the green onions, some of the tarragon,
Ah, and that's fresh tarragon.
and then some of the capers. And then we're going to season it just a little bit. And then we're going to kick it up a notch.
Yep. Want to make sure everyone's awake when they eat their potato salad. Oh, heaven.
I want to smash some of the capers into the dressing.
Because it releases a little more
Release some
flavor.
yeah.
Back to make sure it's okay.
Wonderful.
Okay, we're there. Is it time for our potato stew?
Yeah,
Yes.
now we're going to mix them with our potatoes.
Okay, Chef, it's grilled. The dressing is made.
So we're going to put a little bit of our dressing in there. Not too much to begin with.
Because again, that dressing could go for coleslaw and any number
keep
of
it for
vegetables.
other things.
Yes.
Now you want to
Chef's
slightly,
best tools, the sands.
just kind of want to cover it. You don't want to use a utensil or anything because you break the potatoes down.
You know, here's another good pointer, and that is when you're using mixing bowls, get a mixing bowl much larger than the food products so things aren't flying out and you're trying to... It's taken me a while to learn that one, so... Oh, see.
So that's just about perfect. I'm gonna see if it tastes all right.
I think I need to check it too. Okay, Chef, the corn.
Okay.
This is amazing.
Yeah, but
So
this corn
juicy and
is
sweet.
Andy's sweet corn. It's out of Nebraska, and they pick this corn at like 3 and 4 in the morning, and the corn goes right into an ice bath truck before it's processed and shipped out, and that keeps the sugar level very high. Whereas the big industry people that are growing corn, they pick it in the afternoon. It sits in a hot truck, and the sugar level goes way down.
That's why they say it has to be fresh picked, and what he's done is preserve that experience
That's
for
correct.
us. Okay,
Now, so we have the regular peeled
did.
corn, but if you want to have a little fun with your garnishes and if you're doing something, just take some scissors,
So I noticed you just pulled it back.
pull it back,
Yep.
and we'll just have a little nice piece for a garnish.
Yes.
Okay? So we just want to put this on the sheet pan.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to take some butter
So you've melted some butter.
and I'm just going to roll it on
Give
there.
the little guys a brush. So you're really putting the flavor on it before you cook it. It's just there throughout the cooking.
Right.
What else are we
Now,
gonna do?
This is something you have to experiment with, depending
Okay.
on how much you like it. Kind of up high.
Yeah, and please remember when you're seasoning to get the best coverage is to season from above.
Just rolling.
And again, if you have somebody who's sensitive to spicy, maybe not theirs, but it's gonna be packed full of flavor.
And then a little salt and
So
pepper.
that was a little cayenne and some salt and pepper.
Not too much because people like to season their own.
Right.
And then we're going to put a little Parmesan cheese.
You don't normally think of that, but I've actually tasted this. It's amazing.
And then just kind of a dabble.
And this is going straight to the grill, just
Going
like
straight
this.
to the grill.
Now, are you going to put this on direct or indirect? What would you
want to have
recommend?
it indirect heat on your grill.
All right, so easy enough if you have a big Weber, one side the coals and the other side not. So on the side without the coals is where the corn would go.
That's right.
Okay, we can do that.
All right, we're going to throw it on.
Okay. I'm under assignment. All right, so I'm making the sliders and you're...
I'm going to butter the bread. This is some whole grain
Oh, it's
bread from farm to market. And, you know,
Local bakery.
Local bakery.
Local bakery.
And the thing, you know, we're putting it on the grill. You know, it's not a hamburger bun. This is something different. This is something fun.
Talk about nutritious too, as well as very flavorful.
That's right. So we're going to put just butter on the one side, and then I'm going to lightly grill it.
And really, this whole dinner is happening, for the most part, on the grill.
Off the grill.
Off
That's
the grill.
correct.
Okay, I'll give you one more of these guys.
All right, we're going to season the little sliders, and we're going to throw them on.
And don't be bashful with the seasoning.
Now this
No.
is, you have to have some really good timing. You have to be a good grill master because
Okay.
I'm going to be cooking these as I'm toasting the bread. I'm going to pull the bread off and then be able to put the slider right on it. You ready?
You can do this.
I think so.
I know.
Okay.
We're ready.
We're ready.
Okay. And the fun thing about sliders is
They're small
they're
and
small and
easier
easy
to buy.
enough to manage.
It's not a big old hamburger that's going to squirt all over the place.
Butter side down.
Now, so we want to get ready for our guests, so we'll go ahead and put this in a bowl
Okay.
and have it all ready to go.
Could you use that marinade again for some more vegetables if you wanted to?
You could
Okay.
just keep it. And
just as if it was a salad dressing.
Right.
And you could keep it stored in the refrigerator and you're ready to go. Oh, this one, I have to, you know. Oh my.
So we got our first little side dish ready to go.
Okay. First side dish ready to
But
go.
one more thing.
Okay. A little more.
A little more on top.
That's delicious.
And I want to put just a little bit more seasoning on
There
top.
we go.
So we'll put that in the refrigerator until we're ready to eat.
Okay. Okay, now we are plating.
And this isn't like a normal plating. I mean a normal potato salad where it's all round.
I've never tasted anything this yummy before.
We're just kind of
That's amazing.
freestyle. Put these around. No specific order, just have fun with it. Mix in some of the,
This is when you get to be creative, though.
Mhm.
Yes. And the colors are part of your palette. They're nature's colors.
nature's color.
They're nature's colors.
That's it. And then doesn't this look like a little bit different than a normal
It
potato
does.
salad?
When you introduce it as potato salad, it won't look like anything anyone's had before. But easy enough to make, and again, sauce great for other uses and other vegetables.
Now once it's at that position, I'm just going to garnish it a little bit.
What do you recommend? Our favorite.
I'm going to put a little bit of green onion on there.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit more of the tarragon.
So again, some of the herbs, some of the flavors that were already in there, top it with it.
And then,
And a few capers,
Just a few
which
more
is already
capers.
in the sauce.
because you want to be able to see everything that's in there. And then we clean our plate.
Yes, we do. Like a good chef. And we could chill this or leave
Yeah,
this at room.
we'll just
We're gonna
put
chill
in
it too
some
with
plastic
our.
wrap, put it in your refrigerator until you're ready to eat.
Okay, chef, time to plate because we with our eyes first. Tell me, how
Well,
would we do this?
We're doing family style or, buffet style. So I'm going to put all the burgers, the sliders out here, open face,
Now again, these are bison burgers.
bison burgers.
And you've gotten them a little juicy, and please check on the website for all these recipes. So we just
Get
serve.
that. And
Yes.
then I just want to put a little dollop of this roasted garlic aioli. The recipe is going to be in this section on the website.
And then give them their little hats. Oh, yum.
So you made too many burgers.
Oh,
Bonnie.
no,
We'll just leave
that's
those
okay
open
because I like to keep them open face. For those who are watching their carb count.
Just put some corn out here. So it's all buttered and ready to go. So you don't
Parmesan
have to do
cheese and
Parmesan
cayenne and
cheese.
salt and pepper. You don't need to do a thing.
No, so we're ready to eat.
I think we need to invite the farmers and the head of sustainability, and I think we need to go eat.
Okay.
Michael, Farmer Mike, Executive Chef Tim, you all have worked hard to make this campus sustainable, to grow the produce, to prepare the produce. I think it's time for us to taste. What would you suggest we drink with this feast, this harvest feast?
Well, it's summertime, so I definitely recommend Tank 7 Farmhouse Ale from
Okay.
Boulevard.
Okay?
And then we go up to I-70 a little bit to the Free State Brewery. Their their golden wheat beer. And then they also have this wonderful Copperhead Pale Ale, which is wonderful too.
Whoever said bison isn't juicy hasn't tasted this.
What I really love is just all the fresh flavors. I've got some amazing tomatoes there, Mike.
Thank you, Tim.
You did good, Mike. You did good, Tim. And Michael.
It's nice to have somebody who knows what they're doing with them. You know, I can get through the growing part, but that's about it.
That aioli is just gorgeous. Tomato. Thank you for inviting us to your farm, to your campus, to your kitchen. When we come back next time. We are going to enjoy a sustainability dinner where the entire community has been invited here onto the campus. Gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you.
From
Welcome.
Hello, I'm Bonnie Rabakoff, your host for In the Kitchen with Bonnie, and this week we are very pleased to introduce a new feature. It is In the Cellar by Marquis Selections, and with me is one of its owners, Christopher Cribb. Christopher, thank you for inviting us into your wine cellar.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, so this is a unique wine distributor. I mean, you are very devoted to organic and sustainable. Tell us how Marquis Selections came to be.
Sure. We set up Marquis Selections a little over 8 years ago, and being based here in Kansas City, we don't have that much wine here. There's wine produced here, but we decided to go out and to form an import company and an export operation down in Australia. We had some ties to some people that were very small wineries that couldn't export by themselves, because in the liquor world, every state is like its own country here. All the different laws between Kansas and Missouri are completely different. So we set up to help them, and in doing so, we developed our own brand, Marquis Australian Wines. And over the course of a number of years, we've decided to move from just doing wines of Australia to wines that have a green, environmentally friendly focus. And specifically, we've gone to other regions outside of that, as Argentina, Italy, like we'll be talking about today, Spain, Portugal, and we focus in on value. Wines that are $10 to $25 retail, so something you feel like you can go ahead and pour at a dinner at your house and feel comfortable with it.
So a great deal of effort has been put into not only the quality of the wine, but the price point, which really makes it accessible to most of us who like to cook and sip wine.
Absolutely. If you start to talk to a winemaker, they'll tell you their best wine, which is their $100 wine, is what you should be buying, but that's a little hard on the pocketbook these days.
For most of us. Okay, so this week, Northern Italy, and why did you choose the Piedmont region and these, in particular, these two wineries?
Sure. We actually have two wines from the same winery.
Okay.
And what we've done is, in the scale of Italy, you think of Italy as a big boot.
Yes.
And we went to the northern half, and we were trying to find specifically one wine, the red wine that I'll talk about in a second, Barbera. Barbera is the third largest grown grape in all of Italy, but it's known for being a little more medium bodied, not quite as heavy as some of the Cabernets, and so we were wanting a medium bodied wine, and so we looked for a winery that did that had a sustainable wine focus, and we found a property that has been around since 1108 AD.
Centuries
old.
Centuries old.
They have their Castello at the top of the hill is the highest point in the Po River Valley. The Po River runs through from there in this part of northern Italy over towards Milan. And what they have is all vineyards that come from their castle down the hillsides. And the fruit is all estate grown, and what we really like about them is that they're dedicated to making really quality wines at a value price too.
At a value price. So the red wine we are looking at is Barbera?
Yes, Barbera. This is the 2008 Quattro Leoni Barbera d'Asti. Barbera d'Asti is a specific region. Asti is the city that surrounds.
Okay.
So you'll see several different Barbera d'Astis.
What is the flavor profile of this wine?
Okay, so the first wine, you kind of give it a sniff and think about the flavor profile. It's very much in the red fruits. Cherries. I've heard a lot of people think of Barbera as barberry because it's got so much berry fruit to it. And that berry fruit kind of comes from a cranberry, to a blackberry. So depending on the age of the vines, this one has a lot of that blackberry to it, I think. And you know, the flavor profile of it is also medium bodied. So you have that goes down the palate, but it's not so heavy.
It's not so heavy. What would you serve with this wine?
Specifically, this wine, I find it a very versatile wine. You know, red wines that have as much acid as this can go from an everyday, you know, a nice pizza, you know, to something that's got a little more fattiness to it, like a braised short ribs.
So it stands up to butter.
Stands up to butter.
It stands up to the acid of tomato.
Yes, it does.
So pretty versatile.
Very versatile. You know, I think that's why, you know, Italians drink so much of it, and it's, you know, it's produced so much.
Is produced. At what temperature would you serve this wine?
Usually this is a, you know, this is when they say in the cellar, that used to mean bringing it out of your cellar,
Yes.
which roughly is about 68 degrees. That's the room temperature in the cellar. And so if you bring it up, you know, a regular air-conditioned place is usually about 75, 80 degrees. And so at room temperature would be what I would do. But if it's been in a car a little bit, don't be afraid to put it in the fridge for a little bit.
Don't be afraid to put it in the refrigerator. And
Yeah.
and red wine lovers tell me they like just a drop of chill on it.
Well, it does. It really it kind of cuts back a little bit of that the alcohol. You know, when wine gets warmer, it tends to get kind of heavy in your mouth and hot.
Ah,
And so
okay.
that's a nice way to kind of cut that edge off the alcohol.
And this glass, do we want it in any particular shaped glass, or are we going to get?
You know,
are we picky about this?
I'll be a little picky.
Okay, let's be picky.
But the idea is you want a glass that's big enough for your wine, first off. So, you know, if you get the little tiny glasses that you used to have, that's just not enough, because it's not enough of a spot to give it oxygen. So what you want to do is give it a swirl, give it some oxygen, and that kind of just opens it up, gives it a little area to breathe.
Okay,
And
so
I think the
would
size,
this be a wine you would decant then?
you know, I think that I wouldn't decant it right now.
Okay.
You know, it's a 2008, so it's
Right.
just a couple years old. But if I had this in my cellar for 3 or 4 years, I would probably go ahead and decant it, because what you're going to find is that laying on its side, just like the wines here in the cellar,
They're supposed to be.
you'll find that it'll get a little bit more sediment. And so that decanting process will clean that sediment out. No one wants to have a mouthful of sediment.
Okay, Chris, we are still in northern Italy,
We
and we
are.
have another offering. What?
We do. We have white wine. You know, it's
Okay.
summer. It's pretty hot here.
It is.
And so what we've got is a Monferrato Bianco. And that's a blend of 3 different grapes. It's got Sauvignon Blanc,
Yes.
Chardonnay, and Cortese, which Cortese is a smaller, very round grape that is only in Italy. So it gives it a little nuttiness to it. Sauvignon Blanc
It's
is
usually a little drier and crisp.
a little more dry, more
Okay.
crisp. You know, sometimes gets all the way up to like a gooseberries, and then the Chardonnay in this wine gives it more body. So
This is complex for a white wine, isn't it?
yeah, you know that the winemaker concentrates on only doing one white wine at the winery, and so they take all the best grapes that they have. They sell off any extra fruits, and so it gives it something that's got some body, but it's still got a nice acid feel to it. It's got a lot of light citrus flavors to it that you kind of get from that Chardonnay plus the Sauvignon Blanc.
Because usually you're choosing between those two wines when you're going to pair. And this, so what would you pair this with?
You know, I would think that this would be a great pairing for something like a nice summer salad that's got a little bit of heft to it. Something maybe it's got some chicken in it, or you know, maybe even salmon. You know, it's got enough of that it can cut through something a little bigger than that.
Because of the Chardonnay.
Because of the Chardonnay
Because
in
Chardonnay.
there that would stand up to it regularly, and the Cortese as well. But I also think that this is also a very good cheese wine. You know, a lot of like light, smoother cheeses. You know, thinking about a brie. I have a liking for brie myself, so
This would work. This would work with brie. And what temperature would you serve this wine?
and this one I go straight out of the fridge is where I usually go. So you
One
know,
pretty chilled.
yeah, want it pretty chilled.
In the 40s?
In about the 45, 50 range.
Okay.
Should be just about what you want. It will warm up after you brought it out, and that's kind of when the wine opens up the most. It gives it the most aroma. When it's really cold, when it's, you know, you put it in the freezer too long, or you've had it in the icebox, it's just a little tight. And so you want it to breathe just a little bit, but come up a little bit in temperature so that it'll show all of its characters.
Chris, no other group of wines has received higher marks at better prices than the Marquis selections. What do you attribute this accomplishment to?
Well, thank you. It is really something that we hang our hat on, and the publications like Wine Spectator, Robert Parker have looked at our portfolio, and I think the behind the scenes reality is that we do a lot with the selection process. We
You've
go
handpicked
through,
these wines.
We've handpicked these
You've
wines.
handpicked them.
We've done something where we take these wines and we bring them against the market competition. And in a blind tasting, we have to make sure that we only have selected wines that beat out the current best in show that you would find at your local liquor store. So there's a Barbera d'Asti from Michael Chiarello. You know, we took this Quattro Leoni Barbera, set them side by side, and
Against
said, I don't know who it is, blind tasting, and it was the winner. The blind tasting allows us to make sure that it is better than its competition. And so we have followed that with every group of wines that we've brought in, from our Australian beginnings to the Italian wines, and specifically finding things that are hot, that are a little bit different. I mean, when you saw the
That's
Sauvignon
different,
Blanc
yes.
Chardonnay Cortese blend, I've had a lot of Sauvignon Blanc, I've had, tasted a lot of Chardonnay, but bringing those two together. So I think the real difference in having something that's unique, well priced, and is better than its competition has allowed us to stand at the front.
So how can our viewers and our listeners learn more about Marquis selections?
We have a great website. We've put a lot of work into developing www.marquis.com.
And I'm going to spell that MARQUEE.
.com.
Yes.
That's the right way.
Yep.
2 E's at the end.
Yep.
Or you can give us a ring at 1-888-MARQUEE, MARQUEE.com. We would be happy to help anybody, and even just shoot us an email at info@marquis.com.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you for taking such good care with your wine portfolio. It's amazing, and we're very pleased and honored to be with you in the cellar. Cheers to your health. Next week, we are going to explore the wines of Portugal. Please join us.